Oh, hello everyone. So we've got episode chapter 8, The Mandalorian, the finale, Redemption. And I just got done watching it. I am away right now from my normal studio, in-home studio. So I don't have my fancy microphone or my computer. So I'm out of town celebrating Christmas. So I'm just going to give kind of a brief, my thoughts. I think that's it. The season one is over. I think there's stuff that a lot of people are going to like. I think there's some stuff that some people are not going to like as well. Overall, I thought it was. Here's how you do a finale, though. It tied. Unlike episode 11. Gosh, episode 11. Yeah, episode 9. I think that uh, we're not at episode 11 yet, but don't worry. According to Kathleen Kennedy, they're not done with the Skywalker saga yet, so it may be coming. Anyway, back to this Mandalorian. So this is the way you do a finale. You wrap up the storylines that you've been exploring this season, and you introduce, or you leave it open, and obviously you introduce a new element to it. We'll get to that in a little bit of what I think of the new elements. But let's kind of break down the episode. So you find Quill has died. Quill has died. We thought he did in the last episode, and it seems like it turns out that he did indeed die. And the biker scouts have the little baby Yoda, and they're going back to their base, and they kind of stop, and I guess they're waiting for Moff Gideon to do his thing and to get the call that it's a-okay to come back. And they kind of have a moment where it was kind of cool at first, but then it kind of dragged on a little long. The scene dragged a little bit. It kind of got a little too, that Marvel sort of Disney humor that's takes it a little too far. I think it's not Star Wars necessarily. There's moments in that scene that were funny. They're trying to shoot the little can and they're both missing classic stormtrooper humor there, but it went on a little too long. I think the one thing that I know some people will like, Sporky News Podcast, looking at you, that the baby Yoda gets punched a couple times in a bag, no less. Gets punched in the head. So, child abuse right there, handed down by the Empire. And I know there's some people that are going to like that scene. Yes. But it was, you do get a little chuckle out of it, I have to say. But anyway, so then they go back. So IG-11 shows up. Of course, I wasn't sure. I had a theory that maybe he was the one who killed Quill, because Mando didn't really trust him too much. And kept saying, yeah, droid can't go against its nature, even though it is a program. But it looks like that IG-11 was the good guy and saves Baby Yoda and takes the speeder bike and zips into the town, just taking everybody out, taking stormtroopers out right and left. And it was, that was a fun scene to watch. IG-11 is very good at what he does. And I thought the action and the effects were pretty darn good there. You can let me know if you disagree, but I thought that the whole sequence was pretty good. Meanwhile, Moff Gideon is basically threatening them with threats of naming each one of them. He knows who they are, so that's a problem. We finally found out some more about the Mandalorian. We got his name. We got his backstory. You see the flashbacks that they hadn't gone to in the last couple episodes, and now they come back and they do get to the backstory, and you find out that who saves him from the super battle droid, but it's the Mandalorians. So they're the ones who save him and take him. He's a foundling. And train him. So it was the Mandalorians all along that saved the day, or save his day, I should say. Save his day, I should say. I'm not trying to rhyme there, it just happened. Okay, so then they get out. Mando gets injured, though, in this process. He gets blown back. There was a cool scene where they're kind of shooting their way out, and he goes out and he grabs his powerful Gatling gun kind of thing again. I don't know if that's the E-Web gun that they were building. I guess that was supposed to be. They mentioned Moff Gideon has been there at the Siege of Mandalore. So that's kind of cool. I guess we're going to be seeing that in the Clone Wars. So I'm guessing Moff Gideon will be showing up in the animated Clone Wars. Kind of has to at this point, based on what they did and said and showed at the end of the episode. Spoiler alert for the end of the episode. But yeah, so he was there and saw, and you had used this E-web gun to take out, the 1,000 Tears. So I guess a lot of Mandalorians died, well, obviously because they, had to go underground, the remaining ones. So I guess we'll get to see that. But he grabs this gun, Mando, and I'm not sure if that is the gun or not. I guess it was. I have to watch it again. Like I said, I just got done watching it, and there you have it. I'm not quite sure. I have to watch it again. But he takes a lot of people out. But then he gets blown up and gets a head injury that's apparently going to kill him. He's not going to survive it. But they send this fire stormtrooper in. I don't know what his flame trooper maybe. He looked kind of cool. He had the red. Again, it looks a little more unique. The Sith troopers. I don't know, from episode 9, just looked like they had a paint job, and, they're First Order troopers with a paint job. But, this thing, the Flame Trooper here looks pretty cool. I kind of like the markings, it looks a little more unique and original, and is about to burn them up, and then Baby Yoda, would you know it, he comes and uses the Force and just force pushes that flame back and blows the Flame Trooper up and saves the day. But then he passes out. So, why didn't he use the Force healing on Mando? Because Mando's dying there before he, uses the Force push to push the fire back. But I don't know. Maybe he would have been drained of energy from doing that. I guess he doesn't react right away. They did show him heal grief a couple episodes ago, but he did take a little time. He has to get down out of his little cradle thing and walk over there. So I guess he could let him slide on that, but you do think why wouldn't he heal his dad first? But he did pass out after he stops the fire using the Force push, so I guess that's why he wasn't able to heal him afterwards, because he was passed out. But IG-11, well, he says, "Leave me for dead. I'm not going to make it." And of course, they don't want to. Cara Dune doesn't want to leave him, but he says, you got to leave me. And she says, I'll take off your helmet. I can save you. And he says, no, it can't happen. This is the way. So they leave, and IG-11 comes back and says, I am, a nurse droid now, and I can save your life, and I'm going to take your helmet off. And he says, he points the gun at him and says, do it, and I kill you. And he says, well, no living being's ever seen me without my helmet. And IG-11 reminds him he's a droid and not a living being. So Mando agrees, lets him take off the helmet, and you do indeed see finally it is, who we thought it was, Pedro Pascal, and saves his life using a Batha spray, instead of using the tanks like we've seen before with Luke in Empire and also Vader in Rogue One. He has a spray version of it. It's kind of cool. And again, see, this is taking something that we know from the lore, the history of Star Wars, and just putting a little unique spin on it, not changing anything, just, adding something new, which I liked. So they get into the sewers, they go find the Mandalore base, and they've all gone. All the armor's there. At first you think, wow, are they dead? But no, you find the main chief Mandalorian woman warrior, I guess she's kind of the leader of the pack. She tells them that they had to, because they knew they were done for, the Empire was coming, so, what's left of the Empire, which apparently is very strong still, they take off their helmets and have to hightail it out of there. So they kind of mix into the crowd. Some might have made it off-world, they're not quite sure, but they're around somewhere. She stayed, so she's kind of gathering all the remnants of whatever she can salvage and take it back to the forging pit there and melt it down. So he gets his signet, and there you find out that she knows who Baby Yoda is, or knows the species of Baby Yoda. So here we get to a point where I'm not sure I don't know how I feel about this, and I don't know how other people are going to feel about this, because George had always kind of wanted to keep Yoda's species a mystery, and now it seems like the whole show going forward will be about him finding Baby Yoda's planet and species and getting Baby Yoda home. So I'm not sure how this is going to play with people, delving into this. But apparently the species is all force sensitive. It's just something they're born with. So they're like a force sensitive species. I also don't know how I feel about that. That kind of changes things a little bit too, like a little bit as in a lot. So, it'll be interesting to see what the reaction is and where they go with this. But Baby Yoda's been kind of you're kind of unsure anyway about how you feel about this little creature somehow just knowing how to do things, and then you explore the backstory of the species now. And it was said that the species just has the Force, knows how to use the Force. So again, not sure how I feel about that. We'll have to see going forward, but I guess that's where the show's going to go now. Anyway, so they try to get out. They manage to get to these tunnels. She stays. The Mandalorian leader stays behind. They make it to the tunnels where there's a lava pit. They have to get this boat. You see an R. I don't know if it's R5. It's like an R2 unit, but it's has arms and legs. Kind of interesting take, on a classic R2 design. Something a little more unique and different, but still, keeping true. It's still kind of kept true to the character. It's rowing them along. They find out that at the end of the tunnel there's a bunch of stormtroopers waiting for them. So Cara Dune says stop, and the R2 unit does not stop. So she blows its head off, and they make it to the tunnel, and then they're worried they're going to get stopped. They know they have no way out. So the IG-11 decides to sacrifice itself for the greater good of the team. Mando all of a sudden now cares because it did save its life, and I guess he has a change of heart, and says not to sacrifice yourself. We'll fight our way out, and you can't because it's your programming to save the child, so you can't sacrifice yourself. And the IG says there's this is the way. He should have said that. Oh, that would have been good. Wow, why aren't I writing for the show? But he didn't say that, I don't believe. But it would have been good. Anyway, he says if I don't do this, then we're not going to win, and the child's lost, and I fail. If I do this, the child's safe. As long as you say you'll take care of the child, it's a done deal. So, and by the way, the leader of the pack of Mandalorians also had said that now Mando is the father figure to Yoda, Baby Yoda. So we've got that going on too. So now it's like, not only was he kind of acting like it, now he kind of is the legal guardian and father figure to sort of train Yoda. Oh, and he gets a jetpack. I forgot to mention that. That comes in handy later. He gets a jetpack, but is told he needs extensive training to be able to use it. Well, we'll see about that. So IG goes out and has the thermal detonator in his chest that we did see from episode 1, chapter 1. But this time he uses it, blows himself up, blows all the stormtroopers up, kills everyone, and they're free. So they get out to the tunnel, and Moff Gideon is flying around his TIE fighter. And this sequence looked really freaking cool to me. I thought it looked good. The graphics looked good on this, I thought. So he's flying around, shooting them, misses them. Not sure how believable that is because, he's a Grand Moff, and he's an ex-TIE fighter pilot. So but whatever, it's okay. He misses them, goes around for another pass, and this time, Mando knows he's not going to miss the second time. So he uses his jetpack that he just got after being told it'll take extensive training to use it. He doesn't do too many crazy maneuvers with it, but he does fly up straight. He gets over the TIE fighter as it's coming around, and then uses his grappling hook to snag onto the back of the TIE fighter as Moff Gideon's flying away. He's flying with them all over. It was pretty cool scene. I did like it. I was into that scene. And he finally gets a little, I don't know, bomb, I guess, or a little sticky bomb. He sticks it on one of the wings and blows it up, and Moff Gideon goes flying off and crashes in the distance. Yeah, that was it. So then Mando gets down. He's fallen, and again, he's able to, use his jetpack to ease his landing. For just being told that it takes extensive training, he's a quick study, I have to say. But he did make it safely back. So he's now off. He goes off to his ship and the Razor Crest, and him and Baby Yoda are gonna fly away. And I guess he's got this new mission now to find his family, find his species somewhere in the galaxy. and then Grief and Cara Dune stay on the planet. I'm sure it's probably not the last we'll see of them, but they do stay on the planet. And so they're flying away. You know, Mando's music, the theme music's building up. It's very exciting. And then it flashes down back to the TIE fighters, which just crashed. This TIE fighter, Moff Gideon's TIE fighter, just crashed. And the Jawas are already there on scene. Like TMZ, you know, they're like the TMZ of scavenger, of wreckage. They're just there on the scene at all times, just waiting to go, you know. And they're tearing the ship apart, and oh wow, here we go. You see Moff Gideon stick the black saber, the Mandalorian, the black saber comes through the side of the ship and cuts a hole out. It's like a lightsaber. If you guys don't know what the black saber is, watch the Clone Wars TV show, also Rebels. It's in both. It is the Mandalorian. It's kind of like a lightsaber. Has this, you know, dark power. It's kind of glowing black. Very cool. It can fight against a lightsaber, as we see it do in both both Clone Wars and Rebels. So he's got it. Somehow Moff Gideon is the one who ends up, because we see like a different leader who has it. I believe it's Sistine's sister from Rebels. Now I gotta. I'm not sure. I think that's who has it at the end of Rebels. Well, and yeah, I believe that is. But now Moff Gideon's got it. So again, we'll probably see this in the Clone Wars Season 8, which is the last season that will be on Disney Plus. I think, I don't know, it was originally supposed to be February, might be March now. I have to check and see if they've actually updated the date of when the Clone Wars is released. But I guess we'll get a backstory as to how Moff Gideon has this. So this is where this show and the season ends. He's got the saber. You know, that adds a lot to it. Fans of the Clone Wars and Rebels are gonna like this episode, I think, especially that, you know, adding that into it. It really does add a new element, ties things together really nicely, and opens it up now, you know, for the next season. We still don't know who that person was, from what was that, chapter 5 or something, on Tatooine, the mysterious figure who you just see, you know, everyone thinks it might be Boba Fett. They haven't gone back to that, so that's kind of a cliffhanger that wasn't wrapped up. But most of the stories were wrapped up in this finale. I might do, when I get back to my home base, I might do, you know, maybe a little more of a breakdown, or not a breakdown video, but just some more details that I might miss. Because again, I just watched it right now, so I want to get this video out for my review. And just to let you know, I thought, you know, overall, season 1 was pretty good. They had some really good episodes. The Deborah Chow stuff was the best. This episode was pretty good because I think they did wrap it up pretty nicely with all the storylines, but, you know, added some new details now, because we've got Yoda species, which I don't know how I feel about that, but, you know, at least it's pushing the story, I guess. And you've got the black saber, the dark saber, which yeah, the dark saber is going to be a pretty cool story as well. Because that's a pretty cool weapon, and to find out, you know, how he got it. Okay, interesting. All right, well, that is it. I'm going to stop ranting because it's 18 minutes, and I'm not going to edit this because I don't have my computer, and I don't want to do it. So, yeah, thanks for watching this all, and let me know what you guys think of this Chapter 8 and the season as a whole. You know, maybe I'll do a breakdown season, kind of a video to just talk about the whole season, the whole season 1. Yeah, we'll see. Let me know if you'd like to see that, and I'll let you know if I'm going to do it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Do give it a thumbs up, like the video. Please do subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and until next time, lock the doors and hope they don't have blasters.